Hi guys, I'm Asif Ali and you're watching CGHOW video. Today I create this beams effect in UE5 Niagara. So let's start this video, and if you haven't subscribed my YouTube channel, please subscribe it. If you like this video, like, share and comment. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. My handle is CGHOW_, link is in description. Let's start this video. First of all, subscribe my YouTube channel and also click on bell icon so you will receive all new video notification. So this is the reference I found on CGHOW.com. I'll put the link, and this is the Sci-Fi beams. There are multiple beams. We will just create one and then we can place that multiple times, 4 or 5. And then before the beam there is a base, this is just scaling, but we can do something better than this, I think. So we will try. And for this arc shape, we can use slender or we can just use sprite. So let's create this base first. So these are 3 elements in the base: this front arc, then this base, and these 2 sides. So I'll just create a material M arc base, and if you're working on a sprite, you can take vector to radial. Just type vector to radial, and if I mask, we have these radials, these channels R and G, and in R we have this, and we can also we can subtract value, or we can use absolute, but it will not show because anything different, because it is from 0 to 1. there is no negative values. But if you will keep subtracting value here in between, let's see what happen now. If I subtract just 0.1, 0.5, or so now you can see it's coming from both sides. So now you can take the step node, but that will make it completely contrast sharp. But we also need some edges, because in this image it has this glowy edges, but now it is completely sharp. So we will avoid the step for now. Instead I will here again subtract the value, and then we will take the 3 color blend and connect it here. And if I preview this, and this is the subtract, if I make it 0, we have this. If I subtract 0.1, 0.2, you see it's increasing this red part. But we can use here cheap contrast, like 1 will be absolute contrast, so 0.8. I think I'm doing it wrong. So let me just preview it. Yeah, I was doing it right, but actually this value is very faded. So what I'll do, I'll multiply this with a higher value, then I'll use saturate, so now you can see we have this contrast. And if I put the 1, it will be white and black completely almost. And then here we will have that edge, we have this edge, and with this value we can decide how much this arc we required. Okay, and this value will change the contrast. Like if I make it 2, it's making the thickness. So let's say I'll create an instance, but for that first I will create a parameter here. So this will be arc radius, and this will be edge, and just connect it here for now, and let's save it. So in here in instance we have these two things. So this is the arc radius, and we can make this edge. Okay, and this should also cut from a radial. So what we can do, we can take the mask, this mask, or we can take this mask actually. Shift C again and take the green channel this time. So you have this thing, and then you can actually invert this. So and then we have this, and here we have also the fading thing. So we can multiply these together here, and then we will use cheap contrast for both at once. So now here we have that radial and that edge. We can make this thickness, and this edge is now bending a little bit. So to solve that, first I need this thing little bigger, because this is very smaller. So we can use a power node here, and let's say R, just R for now. So now with this R we can decide the radius, and this is a full radius we have. Now this is straight at this radius, but we don't have any edge here. So for that, what you should do actually, we can try something else. So what I'll do now, because this is what we have, and I'll just copy this cheap contrast here, and I'll use the same edge here. Okay, so if I preview this and make the edge like 1, and then if I copy this, preview, power is 0, let's make it 1 or 0.2. Okay, so we have that edge. Okay, and what we need actually, we need edge from this and edge from this. So in this one, this one, the green is edge, so I'll make the red and blue 0 and make the green 1, so it will come out white. And in this one we have the same thing, so this will be black and the green will be white, so we will have that edge. Okay, so now both should cut out with this mask. So what we will do, we will take the mask of this, we have this, and then I will multiply these together, or you can add these together, both edges, then multiply with this radius, with this radial. So you got this, and you can separate this edge. So this is my edge 1, and we can control D, and this can be edge 2. So if you have issue, you can match the thickness. So I'll just save it. and still we have one issue that we will solve. So yeah, so this is the arc radius, and this H1 is the thickness like this, and this is the H2 for this, and this is the R. We don't need this now, so 0.1 is enough, so we can remove this and make it 0.1. okay, so everything's fine, just this area should be cut. So how we will cut that, because we have already here. So if I copy this, Control D, and we just need this red part, so I will use here 0 and red will be 1. okay, and actually we can multiply this thing with here. We don't need that, I think. So let's try. Yeah, it's working, but yeah, we need to also multiply this with this radius. Now it's complete. So now we have this, and we can animate this, and we have two edges. okay, and now for the base we can use this same thing, and here in the video we have noise here in the base, then these edges glowing. So what I can do, I can take a aura texture, and then this vector to radial we can connect here, so it will be like this, a radial, and I will make this a player, and then I will multiply this with this, so it will cut it out. It will work only this part, and then particle color, and this edge should be brighter than this part, so I will multiply this with particle color, and then multiply this edge separately with particle color, and then I will again multiply this edge to boost it like 10 times than this. Then I will add this edge over this, and this will come here, and you can just use it additive or translucent. okay, you can, yeah, as you can make it additive if you want. So I'll just save it. So now we have, okay, we have this texture over all, but we multiplied it here and it was cutting this. okay, yeah, it should also cut with that, so I will multiply. Actually we just need this texture, this one here, we don't need this because this texture should be in radial, and we can also add a planar. Point on my slide and just save it. So now, sorry for that. Now it's working fine. So we have this texture, we have edge that is brighter, so we can just save this, and in particles, and let's take a new layer, and I'll save this layer to the Sci-Fi Beam map, and Control L, and just to make it little darker. And now I will take a Niagara FX base, and we need this instance, so I will browse this and use it here. Save and delete all these things for now, and spawn burst just one particle, then this like 5, and the life will be like 4.5, and then the size of sprite will be uniform, maybe 200 or 500. This will be very big, and then it will be, and there will be no random rotation here, and custom alignment, custom facing vector, and here you need to take align sprite to the mesh orientation, align it on the z-axis, so you can see. And if you use any color, your edges will be brighter than base because we have multiplied with 10. Save this, make it local, and just drag it into the viewport. And I want this to animate this thing. Like in this video, this is just scaling up, but we have lots of controls, so we can use that. So here this arc radius is animating from 0 to like 0.15. okay, so we will make a parameter of this, and we don't need any other parameter, we just need one parameter. So this arc radius dynamic parameter, connect it here, save this, and now in here we have this full ring, but with the dynamic parameter we can animate it from 0 to 0.15. so curve, initially this will be 0, at 0.2 it will be like 0.15, like this, and it's not cutting full in starting, so we can like this. And also I will smooth these keys like this. Okay, so we have a very cool looking base, and also we can make parameters like this. This is edge boost, edge brightness, so I will just call it edge boost. Then what we can use time and multiply with here, so this will be our banner speed. Save it. So now in here in particles we have this, let's refresh this edge, like you can make it 100 if you want, and then this is pen, you can speed it up. Two is enough. So here we have this thing, and I want when it's finishing this should be the reverse curve, so this is like from 0 to 0.2, so I will put a key on 0.8, that will be the same key, same value, like it has 0.15, 0.15, and at the 1 it will again comes to 0, minus 0.1, and I'll just make it a little faster, so right click and break this key, like this. And also when it's like going back, this should also scale down, so size, and at 0.8 it is 1, at 1 it is 0, so this will be like this. And this issue, this curve is slightly curvy, that's why it's keep increasing. Yeah, and these values I will say 0.12 is enough. Cool. So we have finished successfully our first layer. That looks really cool. And now we need a front arc. For that it is very easy. We just need a cylinder and a material. So I will create a material, and so this is like a shield. So, and on the cylinder, if you select here, we just need the same things, the same texture, copy, and actually with pen, copy and paste it here and just connect it here. So this is what you have. And the particle color, multiply this. You can also make it additive, two-sided and unlit. Save this. So I'll browse this material, and in my FX, this is my base. Then I'll duplicate it, Ctrl D, and this will be my shield. And here in this one I will use a mesh, and first I will use that material that I just created here, and then we will find a cylinder. I have lots of cylinders, but I just need which don't have any cap. Like this, it doesn't have any caps. So here in particles we have this cylinder, you can see, but this should be cut half. That we will do, but we will now increase the scale. So it will match that arc, and little more. Okay, so it's matching that arc almost. Okay, this is actually need to move down. And now this should cut, and first of all this is now like 19, so I will make the non-uniform and 19, but the height I will adjust according to me. And now we need to cut it. So in the material we'll use a texture coordinate, shift C for mask, and you will see this mask how it looks, this red channel. And if I subtract some value and then use the absolute, it will be from both sides, actually 0.5. Okay, now you can use tab, and I will make a dynamic parameter. So this will be like cut, we are cutting it, and then I want to fade it from top. So I will take a mask, green channel, and if I preview this is what it is. I will use the power to fade it more, and then this will be my parameter, fade, and these two things will multiply with my texture. And then we have two parameters, so I will create a texture coordinate and multiply, append, and we will have control of tiling X and Y. So I'll just rename these X and Y and just hit save. So now in particles we have this dynamic parameter and shield, and tiling, let's make it 1 and 1, and this is the cut. Fade, make it 0. So this is the cut. It's not working. Let me check. Oh, we didn't. And why I use power here? Yeah, we are fading it and we are multiplying it, but we also need to multiply it here with this step node that I forgot to connect. So now we have this thing, but we need to rotate this, and also we can fade it from top like this, and then we can adjust the tiling. So it will be cool if you will make like this raise type thing. And I will take the initial mesh orientation, and we just need to rotate it 0.5 180 degree on this. We don't need to use it random here. Okay, so it is there, and then actually we need to rotate it more because my sprite is not aligned properly. Okay, now we will cut it more, 0.175 let's say, and here we'll rotate little more, 0.5, 0.55. Yeah, that's enough. So here in the viewport, if you will see the both emitters, but there is an issue. This shield, well, first of all, this is still very big. This shield should animate when this opened full, like after 0.2 life. So what I'll do, I'll take the scale mesh and I'll delete this scale sprite, and mesh I'll break this. I just want to animate the z direction, z axis, this. So I will make a curve. At 0 it will be 0, at actually at 0.2 it will be 0, and then at 0.3 it will become 1. So you'll see when it's come, the ray is coming. And similarly at the end, at let me check the values here. So this is 0.8. So here in a scale, at 0.8 it is 1, and then at 1 it is again 0, and this time this also should, actually this should scale down earlier, like at 0.7 it is 1, and I want at 0.85 it is 0. So it will go down, then it will scale even faster. So 0.78 like this. So we have cool things till now, and I think this tutorial should be in 2 parts because already video is very long. So I will just create the last part of the base, then we will create beams in next video maybe. So let me check. I saved this map, but why is asking me again? Okay, that's map didn't save, so it's okay, we will make it later. And we can drag it here. So these side things that we need to create, so for that we will just use, actually mesh planar, but we need a material. So I will just duplicate this sealed material, and this is 1, and in this one this should be like this diagonal. So for that we have what we have. I'll just delete this and this for now. So we have just this texture, and I'll just take the texture coordinate, mask, and then max, actually you can subtract from this to this. So we will have this. Okay, we can invert this, and then we can use step to make it sharper, or we can use just power. Saturate. So it is there. Okay, so you can just multiply your texture with this, connect it here. Okay, so here also I will use a dynamic parameter. I shouldn't have deleted that. I'll copy, so I'll just copy this thing, copy, and I'll just paste it here. So we have now this X and Y tiling, X and Y, and I want to fade it even more. So actually you can do one thing. To fade it, you can take this, and you can take actually custom rotator, connect it here and then here, and it will rotate from the center 0.5, and then rotate angle will be 0.25. I want to rotate not 0.25, divide by 2, 45 degree like this, actually negative this axis, and then we can fade it. So this is the second way to do that, make it diagonal. But we have now this fading thing. Okay, actually we can just directly use this method here. So this is fine, I think. So I'll just save this. So now I'll browse this material, and here I will duplicate this, and these are side. I'll just call it side, and in this one I'll use that material shield 1, but here we need a planar. So we have this. Let's turn this off. Okay, so in dynamic parameter, let it be for now. In this, I'll just turn this off. I don't need this. We have the planar, and I want to scale it down like this. Then we need to rotate it. So this is like flat. I want to rotate it in Y, 0.25 minus 0.25, and then we need to rotate it on Z axis. Actually it doesn't work together, two axes, so you need to duplicate this, Ctrl C and V, and in this one turn this off, and then you can rotate it on Z axis to match this. It is matched, and then just set it here and then slightly on this axis. Here. So this is almost fixed, and the size is very big. So what I'll do, this is 3 non-uniform, 3, and you can reduce this on Z axis. Oops. Oh, not 0.3 because this is planar. So we have these two axes, and the pivot is not in the bottom, it is in center. So here I will go, because when I am scaling it on X, it's scaling from the center, it should scale from the bottom. So in the mesh renderer, Here you will find, where is this? Yeah, the pivot point. So we need to offset it on X. So if I make it 1, let's increase it first, and then if I change the pivot, -10. Why is not? Yes, it's working now. 20, 25, 26. So it is there. And now if I scale it, oh, it's again. Why? It's okay. I have some planers with the side pivot. For now we can use those, so but it shouldn't have an issue. So in this planer, let me show the pivot, and shortcut is Alt P. It is not right. No. Yeah, planar bottom. Yeah, this is exactly what I need. So I'll just browse this, and I will actually use this one, and I'll just reset the pivot setting, and now this is seem to be very small, and we will have to do the rotation again. So this is the bottom for my planer, so this texture is also the wrong side, so we will change the texture first. So I'll browse this planer first. Let's stop this. I'll browse this planer, and then in my material, this is shield one, I'll use that planer. No, actually it's right. It is right. It is right actually. So I'll turn this off first, and in this one I'll turn this also off. So this is how it's coming. We need to rotate it on X 0.25, and then on rotation right. Let's turn this off. We need to move it on the right direction, and also scale it down. It looks different here, the rotation. Let me figure it out. See, it looks different. It should be rotated this way, because this is fine here. You can see this is the Z, this is Y and X, and then here this is weird. Okay, let it be. So if I using non-uniform, let me check. Okay, so we have now this Z axis and this Y axis. We don't have this X axis, so we have Z. So we need to actually rotate the material. So in the shield one, what I'll do, I'll remove these, and we can just make it positive. Sorry. Save this. Actually, I will make a dynamic parameter so we can rotate that in particles. So I will actually connect it here. This is my angle. Okay, and that's it. I'll just save it. So now, because you can see this G is the axis I need, so in here in dynamic parameter we have this angle. This is the angle we need, actually 0.125, but the tiling is different, so it is 2.5, 0.17. Now tiling is right, everything's right. So we need to just rotate it on one axis, that will be our Z axis. We will just rotate it like this, and we don't need offset on Z. Let's make it little brighter for now, maybe 100, so we can adjust the rotation properly. So here and slight offset, and then scale it down, and then to scale it more, then offset it, and then almost the same height we have in front, and then I can make it now 1. Okay, so we have this for the side, and we will do the same thing that we do here. So I will just copy this scale. It has actually already, because I duplicated the emitter. So if I check it here, see this side also animating. So if you want to make actually this looks little, I will make it a little brighter. Yeah, fine. If you want the same in both sides in same particle system, you can make 2 particles. These 2 particles are now overlapping, but what I want this, the inverted rotation for the other one. So this is 0.08 minus 0.08. I will break this, and here I will multiply this with execution index. Oh, actually we need also the position, so it will not happen like this way. But if you have the planar have the point here in the corner, then you could do that. So we can do that quickly, so you will understand what I am talking about. So I will just reset these, scale it up, and rotate it 90 degree, and D and V and middle mouse, then press X and middle mouse. Okay, so we can now rotate it from here. So that was I was talking about. So I will just freeze and export it to the desktop. Planar desktop. I have saved it on desktop, so I will import that planar here, and I'll select this, and now I will use that here, and you see I have different things. I'll turn off my rotation, and if I scale it, it is scaling from the right direction, and but my axis is wrong now. so I will move it here. So minus 0.125, and then this will be like 0.17 and 2 and 1.5. Okay, so now if I turn this rotation on, and on the Z we can just rotate it like this, and we have still the wrong direction of this angle, so we just need minus 0.25 minus. Why it's weird? Let's make it 1 and 1 for now. Actually we need this much. Okay, so now we just need to set it here on the 0, and then we can scale it from here, and we can rotate it from here. That will be easy way actually to do that. And I will scale it down here, and then we can now use two particles, and then here it is 0.41, whatever it is. I will now multiply it with the execution index, and before multiplying it I will add, then multiply it with execution index. So now with this we can set the rotation. This is 1.41 here, almost there. And for the second one, this is the add, so we can just first set this one, that's why we can set this one. So in the one particle system we have both thing done. Save. So I think the base is clear, and it is also a full effect like thing, and there's some issues in rotation that we can fix. So this is the second value, 1.25, 1.3, 1.35. Yeah, it is there. Okay, and we can delete this. So we just need now beams, and this is it. I'll just save this video, upload this video, and we will create these beams in my next video, and that's it. So